And welcome to episode 590 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Nancy, and this is the only podcast that says,
Look at it, Johnny. Look at it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, man. Just let me go out there. Let me get one wave before you take me. One wave. I mean, where am I going to go, man? Cliffs on both sides. I'm not going to paddle New Zealand. My whole life has been about this moment. Johnny, come on. Compadre, come on.
does he really say compadre?
He does, at least according to the quote, yeah.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Why Point Break?
Because I knew you were doing the show today, so I thought.
I do this show a lot lately. But
You do, yeah, but I knew it in advance, so I thought, well, I'm going to go with something Nancy will know. And my first instinct was to just go, 2 Utah. Make it 2. Because we say that to each other all the time.
We do.
But I thought.
Yeah, we try to keep the I'm so hungry I can eat the ass end out of a rhino out of it.
Yeah, we do. We do.
But
do
we
that.
know what the 2 Utah.
Yeah. Having a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old in the house is limited the asset of a rhino
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah, you can't exactly talk like you used to when there's no little ones around.
But yeah, we still we regularly make the 2 Utah. 2.
Yeah. How many eggs you want? 2 Utah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie too.
But it used to be like a regular that I watched it, every 3-4 months I'd throw it in. But this whole streaming thing with not use of DVDs, like I have backed off from that. Like, me with Watchmen.
Yeah.
That 6-hour one was once a year. It's been at least 3 years since I've watched that.
Yeah.
In its entirety.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't have 6 hours to sit down and watch it, but
yeah.
I would make time for it. And with the streaming stuff, I don't do that anymore. Is that weird?
No, it's not, because I'm the same way. Like, there were movies that, I think it's a weird thing of, streaming has opened up. There's so much stuff to watch. The stuff that you have watched sometimes gets pushed to the side. So something that I would watch, once a year. Because I had the DVD, and it was okay, it's time for me to sit down and watch Point Break, because it's a classic.
But I've also seen, I want to rewatch Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really streaming on anything, I think, unless you pay for it, I think. But I'm not going to dig those DVDs to watch them, because I'm now I'm not only am I watching them, now I got to get up and change them every 3-4 episodes. You know what I mean? So there's another, it's a lot. It's like what we went through to watch DVDs.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Yeah, that is shocking. And it's like Miami, you would think that would be available on Peacock.
Yeah, you think, but it's not. I can't find it anywhere. No, I know they rerun episodes on a certain channel, but we don't have the cable anymore, and I wasn't watching it anyways.
Right. Yeah, it's you can buy 4 seasons on Amazon, 5 seasons on Fandango at home.
I ain't buying it twice.
Yeah. I get that.
I love Miami Vice, but I ain't buying it twice. That's the other thing. It's all those totes full of DVDs that are you can't even sell them. Nobody even wants them. You know what I mean?
No,
they're gone. It's the money you spend on this shit.
Unless it's a special edition.
No.
There are still people who do collect them.
Okay.
There are and I have a feeling they may come back around vinyl.
Probably not in my lifetime.
but there
leave it to my kid. She can deal with it.
Yeah. But there are people who still prefer ownership. Now, with that, if you go to buy something, if I said I wanted to go and buy Deadpool and Wolverine, nowadays it's special boxes and stuff like that. So it's they're actually more expensive. So they have they're catering to a high-end market.
Exactly.
And if you do buy it, the basic edition, it has no extras.
No.
Like all you're buying is the movie for $23.
Or you can get the the 3-disc DVD with that, the director's cut and all the special. Yeah, it's the same as like CDs. I don't know anybody that buys CDs anymore.
No.
No, I don't know anybody that has CDs in their car.
Cars don't have CD players.
Well, the Scion did, remember?
Right, but that was a 2013.
And you can get them put in if you want.
Yeah, but like, there's another market that's gone the way of the dodo in a lot of ways. Like, the car stereo market. Like, there was a time where like you bought a car and you went and you got a brand new, like, unless it came with a non-factory car stereo, you went and because especially now, those car stereos are so synchronized with the car itself.
Right.
Like you couldn't replace yours because it's attached to the backup cam.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
It's that touchpad.
Right.
You know, like so it's no longer like a car stereo per se.
Right.
It's the touchpad, and now it's a program
right.
that the computer's running in the car.
Right.
Unlike.
Oh, well, I don't mind that though. I don't mind not carrying CDs in my car.
No, neither do I.
I can just pull up my Spotify in the car and just listen to that.
Right.
I don't have to wait for the radio to play a good song. You know.
But at the same time, you've also chosen, like you subscribe to Sirius XM.
Yeah, there's a lot of good channels on Sirius XM. There was some reasons for that.
Right, I understand that. I'm just saying, like
first the price they threw at me when you can cancel, you can't beat.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like it is that thing of like that's something else that like I am shocked that Sirius XM still exists.
Me too.
In the age of streaming, like I don't know how that has survived, except for the fact that it's in every single new car.
That's it, yeah. But there's a lot of good stations on there. Like Lithium is a really good station.
Right.
Like they were playing like I got in the car yesterday? Was it yesterday morning? Whatever the last day I went to work. In the morning. Can't remember. Yesterday morning. I can't remember. Anyways, I get it, I start the car, Lithium's on, and of course, Sabotage is on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna listen to that.
Well,
you know what I mean? So it's not like, but I'll stop everything. Tell me like I'll listen to Sabotage before I even leave.
Right.
But it's not enough. You know what I mean? Like I have, what is it? Is it 10 that I can program in?
Something like that, yeah.
And I will cycle through those 10.
Yeah.
Sometimes several times before I get to one.
Yeah.
That's playing something that I want to hear.
Right.
So even that isn't that great to have.
Right.
And it's a lot of talk. I don't want to listen to talking.
Not nearly as much as terrestrial radio, though. Like, I drove from here down the Arby's, listening to commercials because I just didn't feel like pulling up my somehow. I figured it's a 5-minute drive to Arby's. I wanted to see if they were playing like post-game stuff from the Steeler game. I'm driving down, nothing but commercials the entire way to Arby's. I get to Arby's, I turn off the radio, place my order, pull around, wait for my food, pay the guy, pull out, turn the radio back on, and it's another 5 minutes of commercials to come back up.
Yeah.
Like that was like really?
Yeah.
So like yeah, to like I get where like satellite radio makes a ton of sense because of the fact that it's you get some talking like every 3 songs and
no, it's like if you're in the car early.
Mm-hmm.
And like I have Pearl Jam radio and U2 radio programmed into one of mine.
Right.
And it'll be like Adam Clayton's talking today about his inspiration behind this.
Right.
Well, yeah, I don't mind hearing your inspiration, Adam. I really don't, because I mean I got him programmed in there for a reason. I like your music. But I don't need a 45-minute conversation on why you chose this particular chord. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just go on and on and on, and you're like, yesterday it was about when U2, I didn't know this actually. Between Boy and October.
Uh-huh.
Um, oh my God,
Bono.
Bono actually was going to step back because he didn't feel that he could mix his Christian beliefs with his music, and he was like, I can't be a rock and roll star.
Right.
And Adam and The Edge and Larry, they showed him this is how you can, you know what I mean? So
Right.
so it was an interesting story, but I didn't need an hour of that. I didn't.
Right.
Here, I summed it up in 5 minutes for you. Less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing that drives me crazy. And it's like, I want to hear your music.
Yeah.
I want to hear you talking. It actually reminds me of going to see 30 Seconds to Mars for the last time.
Yeah.
I wasn't here to watch a movie. I was here to hear you sing.
Yeah.
And we didn't get any of that.
I did like I do sometimes you do like I listened to a 15-minute podcast. Our friend Heno from Idaho.
Right.
He's like, you need to listen to this because
Oh.
we talk about Fleetwood Mac and
Dude, talk about Fleetwood Mac. I like him.
and go your own way.
Oh, okay.
Like
an oldie.
Right, but it was Lindsey Buckingham talking about writing the song.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very gracious in what he said.
Like, I can only imagine. And he's probably held by contract to be gracious about it.
You listen to the song and it's him saying what a giant whore Stevie Nicks is. And all he said was, Stevie and I were going through a rough patch. And I'm like, rough patch? She was fucking Mick.
You called her a whore on stage every night.
And had her sing background on it. While playing the tambourine.
That band is an enigma.
Oh.
Now, stories about that band I could probably sit and listen to.
Right. But he basically talked about writing that song. And he did it in about 15 minutes.
There you go.
Now, could that have been elongated? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But he basically talked about what went into the writing of the song. The inspiration for the song was, him and Stevie going through a rough patch.
Right.
And like everything else that kind of went with it after that. Talking about like the drum, the guitar, like everything that he kind of like wrote, how he came across the chords, stuff like that. And that was interesting.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but did she not get him back for that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Stevie Nicks wrote a ton of songs. Like, there are a ton of songs that, like, it's like Stevie,
I know.
like, talking about what an asshole Lindsey Buckingham is, and Lindsey Buckingham then writes another song about what a whore she was. Like, it was like what makes that band work.
What a whore you were.
She like, you are a massive fucking asshole, and you are a fucking whore.
Let's go write a song about it. It'll be a hit. Go love it live.
Yeah.
They were smart in that way.
And I always love, because you always find like some woman, and you can tell like she just got out of a breakup, and they always post that meme of it's like, Stevie Nicks was so cool. She made her ex-boyfriend stand on stage while she sang songs about what an asshole he was.
What a shitty boyfriend.
Yeah, what a shitty boy. And I always reply to that with, and he wrote songs and made her sing back about what a giant whore she was.
Yeah.
And they never reply back.
No.
Like there's never
No, nobody. How can you?
You can't.
You can't.
That's like the bait. And then don't even get me into Christine McVie and John McVie.
And you know what? That poor woman. She was dragged into all that shit.
But they had just as fucked up a relationship. The only difference was John didn't write songs about her.
Well, it was fucked up because Lindsay and Stevie Nicks joined their band. Why do I always do that? I do that every time.
Yeah, so. Like, but I get what you're saying though about like I get like that they're probably being hired and they're probably being told, hey, we need you to tell a story in about an hour.
Yes.
Stretch this out.
Stretch this out.
Like that's what Sirius wants from the channel. Like we want stories from U2 about writing the songs, and we need to fill an hour on Sunday at 10 o'clock. What can you give us?
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, but they got so much recorded shit. This stuff has probably been repeating in a loop for 5 fucking years.
Well, I'm sure. And, and
I'm sorry, she went right in there.
and YouTube's probably paid like, $5 million a year to,
No doubt.
keep the station alive.
Yeah, keep the station alive.
Once a year, they're probably like, hey, remember you had that $1 million you got from Sirius each?
Yeah.
We've got to spend a day recording stuff for them for next year.
Yeah.
So there's probably
makes sense. Yeah.
There's probably a day in November where they sit down and they record a bunch of shit,
right?
Tell stories, and like, have we told this one yet?
Yeah. You wonder if they how much of that they repeat and they have to sift through.
Oh, I'm sure there's probably some producer who's like, fuck, they told this story again?
That's like,
fuck.
Can't we come up with something new?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I do wonder, like, it's that funny thing of, like, bands who hit it big but, like, played in Pittsburgh when they weren't. And U2 played Pittsburgh before they were U2. They played a show at the Decade in Oakland.
Was that back in 1960 something?
Like 1979, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, like before they were anything, but it's like one of those like things that was like.
How do you know that? You don't listen to U2.
No, but it was one of those things. Like I used to go to the Decade.
Ah.
Like when I was like 19, 20 years old, I would go to the Decade because I looked like an older college student. They didn't
get carded.
They didn't get carded. They were like, I got to a point like going to the Decade where they're like, hey, Sean, how you doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah, like they knew who I was.
Right.
And
you lush.
But so I showed up.
You're all proud of that, aren't you?
I am. Like it was like one of those cool things that like you got known. Like like.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for like being trouble. It was like, oh, there's Sean. How you doing? Yeah. So and so's playing tonight. I think you'll enjoy the show, or
Right. Yeah.
And there was a night, me and Jack Knoll, we went out, and I'm like, we're going to the Decade, and I didn't even like, and this was like pre-internet, so we're talking like this was like '93 maybe, and it was the reunion of the Iron City House Rockers. Now, the Iron City House Rockers were like a local band, like. They were huge in Pittsburgh in like the late 70s and the early 80s.
Right.
And then they broke up, and then Joker Shecky was Joker Shecky and the House Rockers, But there was a moment in time where like there was the Iron City House Rockers, and they were like Pittsburgh immortality. And they were doing a 10-year reunion show at the Decade. And the place was jam-packed.
Okay.
And we got in.
Oh.
Because the bouncer was like, Sean, you're going to love the show tonight.
Wow.
And they let us in. And it was jam-packed.
Yeah. And,
like, Jack was like, well, I am not standing around for this. And he goes to the bar. I'm like, fuck you. This is the Iron City House Rockers. I'm finding a spot.
I'm going to enjoy the show tonight.
Yes, I am going to enjoy the show. And that was the show. I think I've told the story. I ended up getting stuck with this girl, and she was wearing an Atlanta Braves shirt. So it had to have been 92, the summer of 92.
Okay.
Because they beat the Pirates in 1991, and they beat the Pirates again in 92. And I remember saying to her, we're going to meet them again and take them this time. And she was like, yeah. She was a college student at Pitt. And we ended up chatting. She was a waitress. But she got stuck with, and the next thing I knew, she gave me $1 with her phone number on it. And the next day I went to call her and found out I spent that $1 at the O for some French fries. Yeah.
French fries and what?
French fries and hot dogs.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I needed some.
There goes the love of your life. There she was.
There she was.
You missed it.
Yep.
Oh, poor Sean.
I was like, I did what?
Oops. That'd be something I'd do.
Oh, it's tragic.
It is.
But.
Uh, you ate her phone number basically.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to what you originally asked me, how I know this about you too, it's because like you'd go to the decade and like they had the wall of like all the bands that had played there.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they had like
Wait, doesn't Mr. Small's Theater have that too? No.
I think so, yeah.
No, where did we see the Love Hammers?
At Mr.
Mr.
Small's.
Small's Theater. Yeah, they do. They have that.
But you'd look at the wall and like and it went back like to the 60s.
Yeah.
So like there was like Bruce Springsteen had played there in like 71.
But it's not as well known as say like CBGB.
No, it's not even close.
They weren't founded there.
No.
Yeah.
No, like but it was the Pittsburgh equivalent of something like that.
Yeah, right.
Like it's not there anymore. It got replaced a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
I think it maybe even tore down the building and built something else. Like
wow.
But then that what it went from like the decade was the spot. It went down to the south side, the next Fat City.
Right.
And I saw quite a few bands there, but nobody that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, who played at Nick's Fat City before they were big? Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay.
Okay. Now I know you're like Hootie and the Blowfish. Who gives a fuck? But they became like one of the biggest bands in America. But they came back for
I never understood it or got it.
But after Cracked Rear View hit, after Only Want to Be With You became like this monster hit, and they were getting a ton of airplay in Pittsburgh. They came back and did another show at Nick's Fat City.
Oh, yeah?
That show sold out in like 10 seconds.
Wow.
Like, there were people in line for those tickets like hours before they went on sale because Hootie was like blowing up, and it was the equivalent of seeing 30 Seconds to Mars at a club.
Right.
Like, except it sold out.
Right.
Like that's, I will never understand how we got to see 30 Seconds to Mars in a club.
Yeah.
It baffles my mind to this day.
Yeah, I know.
Like if it would have been a theater or
yeah,
like I understand why it wasn't the arena, but at the same time it was like we saw them in a club.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest bands in the world was playing a club in Pittsburgh that didn't even fucking sell out, and that baffles me to this day.
Club Zoo, it was called at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those 18 and under clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't even selling alcohol then.
No, they weren't.
So that was like just bizarre.
I think for that show, though, I do think if we had gone up to the balcony, they were selling booze.
They might have.
But down below, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't moving from where I was moving. That's all I know.
No, but I mean, like.
This was a mosh pit after they started.
But it was just, it's always going to be one of those baffling things how we saw 30 Seconds to Mars in a club after they were big.
After they were big. That was the whole thing. That wasn't even because the Kilt was the big thing then. Yeah, because they actually played it in its entirety. The last two times we saw him, the last time he didn't even attempt to sing it, and the last time before that, and he's like, why are we singing these old songs? I've forgotten these lyrics. And I'm like, the great Jared Leto forgot his own lyrics. Right. Like, we're going to believe that. Yeah.
But I have seen, like, I remember I saw the Wallflowers before they were big.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah,
I used to go see the Clarks for free before they were big.
Yeah.
In the parks in Latrobe.
But it was like one of those things where, like, these girls.
Or before they were big. I said before they were free.
Yeah.
Did I say before they were free or before they were big?
Before they were big.
I did say it right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
When we used to go to the Metropole, which later became Club Zoo.
Right.
We would go down there for 80s night, and we would dance. And we would dance with these girls. They were there every week. We called them the Homettes.
Oh. They had nicknames.
Yeah, they had nicknames. But, like, nothing ever happened, but they felt safe with us, so they danced with us. Yeah. And it was like a cool little deal. Like, but nothing ever happened. Like, nobody ever dated any of them or anything.
All right.
They would dance with us, would hang out with, and then when the lights came up, they would leave.
Wow.
They'd say goodbye. They were polite, but,
right.
They just knew we weren't going to do anything.
Yeah.
So the one night the lights come up, and we're, all right, we'll see you next week. And the one girl goes, there's a band coming. They're going to be playing Rosebud next door tomorrow night. You guys should come and see them. We really think you'd like them. I'm like,
And that was the Wallflowers?
I'm like, well, who is it? They're like, it's the Wallflowers. Like, yeah, I ain't never heard of them. I'm like, no, they're new, but it's like, it's Bob Dylan's son.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
that.
Jacob Dylan.
Yeah, I forgot that, yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and like seeing them, I was like, yeah, they're all right, you know.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't a fan.
yeah, I wasn't a massive fan. I mean, I bought the CD, and I
I
like
might turn them off if they were on. I just wasn't a fan.
I liked One Headlight, and I thought there were a couple other songs off that CD I thought were okay, and
That's about the only one right there. Once you said it, I was like, that's the one.
and I liked their cover of Heroes.
No.
I mean, for you, nobody's
Absolutely
covered
not.
Bowie's song. Yeah.
No. Don't. Just the whole entire world needs to know. Do not cover Bowie. Just let it go. You cannot improve upon perfection.
Not even Nirvana?
Not even Nirvana.
Wow. Wow. That's a bold statement.
It's Bowie.
I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think that cover of Heroes was bad.
It's Bowie. Don't
I
do
get
it.
it.
Just don't do it. Actually, I was in, speaking of Sirius, there is one station, and damn if I can remember which one, they really love to play Bowie, and they have Blue Jean on, and I was like, you never hear that song.
No, you never hear Blue Jean.
I never hear Blue Jean.
No.
Because that was like the one-hit wonder on that
Yeah.
CD. I was like, wow. Blue Jean. I was like, doo-doo-doo-doo. Of course, the person I was in the car with, didn't like the fact that I was enjoying the songs. They had a dog over it. I was like, shut up, it's Bowie. That should be a rule.
You never talked during Bowie.
No, well, for me.
Yeah.
But like, there should be a rule that everybody has that whenever they get in your car and you have the radio on, there's that one band that you cannot speak over.
Right.
And Bowie's mine.
Right.
Anybody else, I don't care. But Bowie, no. No. Just no. What would yours be?
It's odd. Considering I don't play songs randomly,
Mm-hmm.
like I listen to bands.
Yeah, you listen to whole albums.
I will.
You'll just play the whole album.
I'll play an album. Like I don't have a playlist.
You'll even listen to the shitty shit.
Yeah.
On those albums to listen. Yeah.
Yeah. But like if a lot of times if there's an album I like, there's probably not a song on there I don't like.
Right.
For the most part. Like there are some times where it's like, okay, I don't like that song, I'll skip it.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like if I like an album, I like the entire album. So I don't mind listening to entire albums. But if you were to say like there's one band, if I was listening to if I was in your car and like it was like, okay, this band comes on, you need to shut up.
Yeah.
It would probably be Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could give you a list of 10.
Yeah, so could I.
But just
like trying to limit to one is
right.
difficult.
It is very difficult, but just talking over Bowie is just disrespectful in my eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Rest in peace, sir. But it's just like, shut up. It's Bowie.
Yeah.
And here's another clue. If I'm turning this song up louder, it means I don't want to hear you.
Right.
That's just a hint. But some people can't take hints, and those are the same people that don't like to use turn signals. So
what was hysterical was like you handed me that respect just earlier this evening.
Oh, with
yeah.
Well, you asked me to turn it up.
I said turn it up, and you cranked it.
I did. I like the beginning of that song.
And it was autographed. Turn up the radio.
Before he even starts singing, I like that beginning. I was like, I'll listen to that one. Yeah.
Well,
but you got into it, so I let it go.
It's got that cool beat, like
it does.
You know, and then the guitar hits, and then he said, "Turn it up." You know, you're like,
and it's not a bad song.
No, it's not. Yeah. But it was like, what was funny is like before you could ask the question, I said I could not name another autograph song if you had a gun to my fucking head. But that one is amazing.
And it's funny because as you were listening to it loudly, and I'm like, what other songs these guys had? I only ever hear this one.
Yeah, because that's the only one apparently worth hearing.
You said that. I was like, oh my God, that's so freaky. We're thinking the same thing.
But there aren't many, like, even like one hit wonders where like you say, like, that song just, like, I hear that song and it does, like, make me want to turn the radio up. It makes me want to
get into that.
Get into that. You know.
Yeah, whoever made that song was like, can you imagine that live in their I'm guessing they were opening acts.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not putting the band down.
No, not at all.
They did not have the library to be able to be the main event.
I'm sure whenever county fair they're playing at right now.
Was it their opening or was it their
That's going to be the closer. Yeah.
And when you start hearing it, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's a very distinctive sound to a very distinctive song.
Right.
Yeah, so when you said turn up, I said, sure. Yeah, there is a lot like that. Now, let me ask you this about albums. Is there one, like, there have become bands that I used to listen to in the 80s that I only want to hear one song from them.
Right.
But they have a whole slew of good music. But it's just like, I only want to hear the one, I'm good with you. And it's sad because you love them. I don't even want to say the name.
Go ahead, say the name.
The Cars. Like anytime I hear the Cars, all I want to hear is Moving in Stereo. I do not want to hear You Might Think or Who's Gonna Ride You Home Tonight. I don't want to hear them. I want to hear Moving in Stereo and Be On With My Day. Why? I love the Cars.
I don't know.
Why?
That's sinful.
It is.
That I have. You've literally committed a sin against.
I know. I've been wanting to tell you that for a while because you're a huge. And that day you were playing them in the car when we were doing something. I was like, oh my god. I
thought I was doing you a favor.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
What music play together? Because unlike you, like I try to consider you when I listen to music.
But that's when we are in my car anymore. What do I put on Hair Nation?
Right.
And that's the only reason it's programmed in there is because of you.
I get that. I'm just
or the classic rewind also, because believe me, I'm not listening to Leonard Skinner, but it's on there because for you.
It's that funny thing of like, okay, well, what are we going to listen to that I know Nancy's like, oh, play the Cars. We haven't listened to the Cars in a while. I like the Cars. She likes the Cars. We're cool. And like, meanwhile, you're over like rolling your eyes, and I don't even like, I'm like, you know, you might think it's hysterical.
And I'm like, please, Moving in Stereo, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Because if I turn that up, he's going to be okay. But you played The Fix the one day, and I was like, oh, yeah, now I can listen to this on Fix.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because The Fix doesn't have that many as the Cars.
No.
You know what I mean? But I can listen to like their B-side shit nobody's ever heard.
The Fix is one of those bands though that are, in my opinion, very underrated.
Yes.
Like I think they're better than people give them credit for, and they're one of those bands that like when it comes on, people are like, "Oh yeah, I like that song."
Yes. They don't know the name, but as soon as they hear,
they don't even know the band. Yeah. They're like, I know that song and I like it.
But one thing that leads to another is usually the one they know.
Yeah.
Because that in the beginning of the song, you know, yeah.
Like Triumph. And I know you're not a fan, but
no, but I do know that one song.
Yeah. Yeah, Lay It on the Line is like the song.
Yeah, okay.
But
is that
like,
the name? Okay. I'm sitting here singing it.
Yeah. But like there's a bunch of songs that you're just like, wow, they're better than I thought they were.
I would never think that. Same with Duncan. That's a band that if you held a gun to my head, I'd be like, I have no idea. I have no interest in that band at all. But all my friends loved them. I was like, I don't see it. I didn't see it. But then when I started getting into Queensryche, all my friends were like, I don't see it. And I'm like,
until they
Jeff
did.
Tate, you idiots, Queensryche.
Yeah.
But that's when grunge hit, and that's when people started to notice Queensryche, not because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
The Operation Mindcrime was 3 years ago, you motherfuckers.
Exactly. I've been into these dudes for a while now.
Yeah.
You want to see my collection? You know?
Let me introduce you to the Queen of Reich.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. What was it? The Lady Wore Black?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it though. I get it. People have different purposes, but like I'll be at work and I'll have my radio going and somebody will be like, what are you listening to? And I'll say Toll, and they'll be like, who the hell's that? And I'm like, Toll. And they're like, we don't, what? Toll. How do you not fucking just know the name? That's what I was saying. Like, there are a lot of people, I don't listen to country at all, but I know their fucking names. You know what I mean? I know Miranda Lambert and Dolly Parton.
They're just in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, but I'm like, how do you not like Toll?
Mm-hmm.
That is such a... that should be a household name whether you listen to it or not. Like Elvis Presley. I know who that. My kid knows who Elvis Presley, but we ain't fucking listening to him. I'm just saying.
There were people who didn't know who Metallica was until
Ooh,
Injustice.
really?
Yeah.
You think Cliff Burton would have put them on the map with that shit?
No, because they didn't get airplay. Like, you didn't get airplay on the radio, and they didn't have videos that went on MTV.
I always forget about back then, airplay video.
Yeah.
That's what got you heard, yeah.
Right. So, like, when all of a sudden, when MTV started playing, the one song off of Injustice for All.
The one song.
Well, the one that had the video, the landmine is killing me, taking my sight, taking my ore.
I'm sorry, just the way you said that.
Yeah, I know.
Like that one song.
There was like that
No,
one
I know,
song.
Sanitarium. Is it
No, not Sanitarium.
No, Sanitarium wasn't on that one.
No.
That was on the one with the cross.
Yeah, that was on Puppets.
Puppets, yeah.
Yeah. No, because it was the one with the video where they took the movie.
Oh, where his thing, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
oh.
And he was doing Morse codes, SOS.
I'm
Yeah.
so far away from Metallica these days, I can't. But I know what you're talking about because I listened to Metallica back
It's
then.
gonna drive me nuts.
It was a good video.
That was a,
Reach out a little bit. But
It did, yeah.
You gonna look it up?
I do. One.
One.
That was it. Yeah.
How was that on Injustice for All?
How was that? Because it was.
One was on Injustice for All?
Yeah.
I thought one was on the Black Album.
No.
What was the song on the Black Album that I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of a different song. Go ahead. I'll figure it out.
You think of The Unforgiven?
Is that the one I'm thinking of? Oh, that had a weird video. That's fine. Never mind. I got.
Okay.
I apologize. Alcohol does that to you. No, I apologize. I was confusing the two names is my problem. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. One is.
I was afraid you were confusing it for U2's one, which had
Oh God, no.
7 different videos.
What was with the people on the car? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea. That was like so. The video that worked for me was just the one with Bono sitting in like the pub singing, because it felt melancholy. Like it's just Bono alone, and it was like you listen to the lyrics to that song, and you're like, this is like it made sense. Yeah. Like every other video they released after that for that one song, they released like 7 of them for some ungodly reason. You're like, what the fuck?
It's like they were trying to compete with Blade Runner or something. But like that song though, that song is like a very moving song. I hate to say, because people don't like U2 anymore.
No.
I do not know one person in my life that listens to U2. I listen to U2 on my playlist at work every fucking day. Every like Bullet to Blue Sky, shit back from back then. Not now. I don't listen to their stuff now.
Right.
But like nobody I know listens to them at all anymore.
Yeah, like everything up to How to Defuse a Nuclear Bomb.
Yeah.
I like.
No, I like their
like
70s, 80s, 90s. Yeah, that's the stuff I love.
Yeah, but I mean like
mostly 80s. I mean, The Unforgivable Fire and Joshua Street, October. I'm just all that.
Boy. Yeah.
Just fantastic music.
Octoon Baby.
I'll give you that one, although I'm not a huge fan of that one. For some reason, I'm not. And I think it's because that was so overplayed, because that's when everybody was in U2. And that was so just, that's all you heard.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's so much better. There's better than this. You're listening. It's not that it was bad, but there's better.
Well, I mean, that led to the Zoo TV stuff.
And I think people also got away from U2 because of the stunt that they played on the Apple.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, you motherfucker. But yeah, it was brilliant.
It was
brilliant. It was cheating, but it was brilliant.
It's almost as brilliant as Prince giving away a CD with every ticket sold to like the pop-up concerts he had.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like one of the greatest selling CDs of all time that nobody wanted.
That's how he got it out there. Yeah.
This was Prince's album about being a Jehovah's Witness. Nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it.
Millions have it.
But I don't. I gotta wonder if that was actually U2's idea, or if they even knew, somebody glazed the idea over it, or if that was something they absolutely knew was going to happen.
I think that it was going to happen. I think they're like you. I think
I can't see somebody like that agreeing to that though, because it's cheating. It's cheating. Bottom line.
I do, because it's something that, first off, at the time, U2, biggest band in the world. You know what I mean? Like, they just were. And so for them to be like, we're so popular, we're going to force this new song on you, on your iDevice.
They gave you the whole album.
Did they give you the whole album? Okay.
It was not one song. Yeah. They downloaded the whole thing.
It's one of those things where it's like,
at least on mine.
Yeah. I feel like it's something, yeah, that's what we're going to do. That makes sense. I like that idea.
Yeah. But I don't know if they really knew what the big picture, what they were actually agreeing to.
Well, I mean, you figure, this is post LimeWire. This is post Napster.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to, like, I'm sure in their minds they're like, okay, let's make amends because they can't download for free anymore. They can't pirate the music.
Yeah.
So let's give them the album.
Right.
They'll love it. And people were like, I didn't fucking want this.
I actually, for shits and giggles, I did listen to it through.
Yeah.
Because I was curious, what are they doing? There is not one on there that I'd want to listen to again. And I know sometimes when you're listening to new music, like when 21 Pilots released theirs, they released a few songs before they released the whole thing.
Right.
Now, me and Brittany, my daughter, we were listening to them, whatever. And I will listen to that, and there's ones I'll pick and choose. And I'm like, okay, this one's going to have to grow on me. It's a good song, but it's got to grow on me. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't hit me at first, but I know eventually I'll like it. There was not one damn song on that I was like, maybe I'll listen. No, don't. Like, I was fast forwarding halfway through the song, and I'd be fast forwarding to the next one. That's how awful that music was. And I couldn't believe it was coming from U2.
I can say in all honesty, like, there are very few exceptions where I listen to something like that first time, and then you turn it around like you say, like, that didn't hit with me. And then you maybe like a month or two, or maybe even a year later, like you come back to it and you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Where it doesn't happen. Like either like when I first listen to something, it's like either I like it or I don't.
Yeah.
Like.
Right.
And that's even with bands I like.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like, people will laugh, but Nickelback released Dark Horse. I love that album.
I know.
The next album they released was fucking garbage. And like it was like one of those things where I'm like, I was so disappointed. Because like, especially like with like how I feel about music and like where music has gone since 1991. Like Nickelback was one of those few bands I was like, this is my savior.
Yes, I know.
Like this.
Oh, I heard.
Right. But like, this is bringing back what I love about music.
Okay,
like,
well, let me ask you this. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Because you said their next album was garbage. Would you rather have a band do that to you, or have like the gradual back where it's hit or miss on it, like Linkin Park did? You know what I mean? Once Minutes to Midnight, after that, it was like, when are you going back to Linkin Park? Because all this stuff you're releasing really, really isn't that good, but you're hanging on because you love this band so much. Or would you be like, okay, it's garbage, I'm done with you, I'm just listening to what I know is good? Because you're still going to get some good stuff trickled in, but it's like a tease. It's like a tease that they're going to go back and make the good music, and they never do.
Like, here's the prime example I'm going to give you. He's not here to defend himself, and I'm sorry for this, Ian. But Ian and Metallica. God. Every time Metallica comes out with a new album, he sits there and he's like, this is the one.
Yep.
They're getting back to, Injustice.
No, they'll never get back to that.
And I'm like, no, they're not. This is just a continuation of what they've been putting out. That's not very good. The
shit show that is now Metallica.
Yeah, and but he tries so hard. Like he hangs on so tight.
Yeah, he hangs on.
And like I reach a point like I don't hate Nickelback, but and every like there's a song I'll release. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't bad. Like that's okay, but I know they're not what they used to be. The Rolling Stones, up to and I having just listened to it, the Voodoo Lounge album, which in my mind was a much better album than what I listened to a couple weeks ago. But there was still like a number of good songs on but then after that they just get progressively worse. It's like because they're only releasing an album as an excuse to go on tour. And it's like you really don't need that anymore.
No,
you got enough.
You got enough. Yeah.
And like you all like it's almost sad to a point. Like Def Leppard released an album last year.
Did they?
They did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I listened
Why?
to exactly. And like I listened to like the single that came off of it, and I was just like, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Like why?
Right.
Like this because even like when they went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'm watching them perform, and I'm just like, yeah, Joe Elliott doesn't have it anymore.
No.
He's lost it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a shame. He had a great voice.
He did.
It's just not there anymore.
He had a great look, and I'm not saying anything, but he is one that has not aged well.
No.
It's like, come on, he's no Simon. Like, you gotta give it up, because Simon still looks the freaking same to me. I'm not gonna lie. But him, no.
But Joe, like, and it was just like, it was sad, because I'm like, man, like, Joe Elliott had a great voice, and he's just not there anymore, and I understand it. But, and like, this album comes out, and I'm just like, oof. Like,
well, what I heard, I don't even.
I've
never.
I don't even want to grace you with how bad that is.
Because anytime I hear Def Leppard in the car, it's usually Animal or Rocket or shit from the 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, I'll listen to Def Leppard.
Yeah.
But I don't hear nothing new.
Yeah, like it.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to rack my brain if anybody even mentioned that to me.
No, because it released, and it was like on my timeline of like on Facebook. It was like, you know, because you've liked Def Leppard, here's their new video. I'm just like, and I was just like, oof.
See, there's all the excuse in the world. You need to stay off of Facebook, my friend. I'm sorry.
You know,
don't suggest shit. That's one reason I don't go on there. It's nothing but a suggestion of shit I don't want to see or hear.
But a lot of it is stuff like you find stuff and you go, oh wow, like that. I'm like it was like there is. My dad showed this to me. It's Brian May.
Wait. I know Brian May.
Yes, you do.
I know. Brian May, no, I'm thinking Led Zeppelin. No, who Brian May? No. Who's Brian May?
Guitarist for Queen.
Queen.
Yeah.
God, fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, I knew that.
After Freddie died, he put together a band, released an album, went on tour.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And there is... I'm gonna find it and play it for you, because once you hear this, you'll be like, holy shit, that's impressive.
Oh.
All right, so anyway, it was Brian May, and they were doing "Since You've Been Gone," which is an old Rainbow song.
Yes.
Which I played for you. Which
yes.
Like my dad showed that to me one night. I'm like, he's like, I know you like Brian May. I thought you'd enjoy this. I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's like a total 80s rock sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like you. So like in my feed, I get this, and like somehow like because I played it on YouTube, like Facebook and Twitter pick it up.
Yeah.
And now you've showed interest in this, and so they showed me this whole thing. And I sent it to my dad because he was like interested in the song, so I sent him the tweet that I read to you, and so I found out interesting information about that band, what Brian May was thinking.
Right.
Because he was like, I'm trying to get away from being in Queen.
Right.
Freddie died, and I'm running away from it.
Yeah.
And like that's
gonna be hard. So yeah.
Right.
Right.
But it was something. So like, well, you're right. Like those feeds, they give you information. Some stuff you're like, well, this is fucking trash.
Yeah.
A lot of times it does give me treasure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like
yes.
And like I appreciate that. That's why I I still do it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's
No, because you're right. Because sometimes it'll give me something, and I'm just like, why?
okay. I'll tell you the whole reason I go on Facebook anymore is some of the pages that I follow. Mostly Animal Crossing.
Right.
I am a child when it comes to Animal
Right.
Crossing, and I will go on there and just narrow down on those Animal Crossing feeds.
Right.
Some of the other ones I do love to look at is I, for some reason, have clicked on and followed a extremely large amount of pages that do stuff regarding the Titanic.
Right.
I don't even understand. Like my pages, I could probably pull up Facebook now and you'd scroll through, you'd probably see like 4 or 5 in the first scroll.
Right.
I'm very fascinated with the Titanic. Oh, it has been, and they have been like having some nice pictures and some nice,
Right.
it's really nice. And then like art stuff and that, and that's about it. Like
Yeah.
that's it. There's like anything they suggest, I'm like, yeah, or humor. You know what I mean? That humor stuff is a lot on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I get a lot of like it's called postmodern jukebox,
Okay.
and it's this group of people, and what they'll do is they'll take a popular song and they'll try to rework it into like a 20s jazz song
Oh.
or like a 40s
Why?
because it's interesting.
Okay.
And then, like some, and a lot of it is very well done. Like a lot of it, you go like, oh shit, that was really good. Now some of it you're like, okay, or that's a song I just didn't like to begin with. Like I didn't like the original, and I'm
Well, give
listening
me
to
an
it.
example of a song that you did like,
Okay, let me pull that up.
because what you're telling me is not something I would want to hear, but you're like all crazed about it, so it can't be all that bad.
Okay, let's see what I can find here real quick.
Quickly,
I'm trying. I'm trying.
quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
You found something.
Any reworking of Hallelujah doesn't. Okay, here we go. This is a reworking of Running Up That Hill.
I'm sorry, that reminds me of something. I'll get to it.
Okay. Let me find
Dun,
it.
dun, dun, dun. That reminds me of something.
Um, please. Trying to find something that'll like that'll hit with you. Like you'll be like, oh,
I know,
okay,
because Placebo redid that, and I really like their version of that, and it's hard for me to listen to
right.
anybody else's version, even the original. Is that what new jazz is? Because I was talking about this at work the other day, and I was like, I don't know what new jazz is.
I don't know how, but like this is just like a great like reworking of this song.
Just sounds like they're taking it back to the 50s and 60s.
Yes, exactly. I love the big band sound sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's like a lot of times it hits. Like
Yeah.
like it's like, wow, that's really neat how they like reworked it and made
Right.
it work in like that style.
Yeah.
You know, because you think of this song, like you're thinking of Will Ferrell and
Right,
bopping the
right,
head
right,
and
right.
but hearing it like this way
Yeah.
is like it's kind of like, and many people consider it like blasphemy, but Tori Amos's cover of "Smells Like Teen Spirit" I love.
I know you do.
Yeah, like because it takes that song in a completely different direction because it's just a girl on her piano,
Right.
and her voice is so haunting,
Yeah.
and when you hear it, you're just like, oh, like,
Yeah.
what I mean, like it's.
Yeah.
She also does a version of Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. It's the same thing. It's just her and her piano and that voice. And when she sings it, you're just like, you get lost in it.
Yeah.
But like those, especially Smells Like Teen Spirit, like being reworked that way and slowed down and turned into something completely different that, by the way, Kurt Cobain loved.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like, it's always interesting to me.
I think it's showing your age.
It is a little bit, yeah.
You're going to that. I need to listen to mellow music, so I can't stop listening to this heavy metal and rock shit that I used to listen to. So I'm going to listen to somebody that toned it down. I didn't mean dumbed it down. I meant toned it down. So it's mellow music for the elderly.
No, I don't think that at all. I just always
like elevator music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. I like, and I'm not saying that's the superior version. But like to me, like I like, if you're going to cover a song, don't just do the song.
They pretty much did it in a form that you can listen to it now, because I've never, since I've known you, ever voluntarily pulled up Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana to listen to.
No.
And I have. So
yeah.
I can understand why you do that, but
like
I want to hear Nirvana.
Okay, here's one that you'll appreciate then. Marty Casey taking the Britney Spears song, "Hit Me Baby One More Time," and slowing that down on Rockstar. That was amazing. Like,
it was amazing, but it wasn't that format.
No, it wasn't that, but it was doing something different. You're taking this pop song, this dance song, and completely reworking it and making it into something.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Like, it's the same song but reworked in a way that's completely different.
But that's Marty Casey. No, I get what you're saying.
Right. All I'm saying is, if you were going to cover a song, make it your own somehow.
Right. And
like,
that's what they're doing.
Right. And they're doing it in a very interesting way.
Why not make their own?
I don't know. I mean, that's what you ask any cover band.
Oh, I'm just curious if you knew.
No, I don't.
What you're reading about.
I think that's their mission's just to like, this is what we are. Now let's take these songs and do them in a way that's different.
Yeah. As long as the artists that have those original songs don't care, I don't.
Or getting paid from any profit.
I was gonna say, hey, it didn't sound bad. It's just not something I wouldn't listen to.
No, I get that. I'm not saying like it's for everybody.
If I'm gonna listen to like a Stone, I want to hear Audioslave singing again. I'm sorry,
right?
It's not like Chris Cornell's voice. Sorry, but for enjoyment,
yeah. Like if I'm scrolling through Facebook and they come up, I'll stop and listen to what sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, give me an example you didn't like.
I think they took a Lady Gaga song and they tried to take it back to like.
You don't like Lady Gaga though.
No.
I meant a song that you like that you didn't like that they redid.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
They did a Lady Gaga one?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of.
I think it was Bad Romance. And they took it back to like.
I love
Big Band.
I like Bad Romance. I like it, Lady Gaga.
But... See, think about it, I did like that version. I did like that. Because it kind of had a big band kind of feel and everything like it.
But it's reminding me of the show Glee. In a way. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying like that's something that's just interesting to me.
Oh, God. Now I'm going to have to start binge watching that show again.
No, you don't have to do that.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get lost in the Glee black hole again. It was a great show. It really was. I can't argue. It was a good show.
A lot of people loved it. I'm not denying that.
What is that lady's name? Is it no? Jane.
Jane.
what is her name? She was in that one something down that we watched. There was one season of it. Party Down.
Party Down, yeah.
Her. What is her name?
I can't remember.
Her as the coach in that show just makes that show for me. Like she was the one that sucked me in to watching that show.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, that's basically what they're making it their own.
I get that. I get like your point, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think it's kind of a cool thing. Like,
Can you disagree? It's the same damn thing.
I'm not disagreeing.
Oh, you just said I'm not agreeing.
I said no, I'm not disagreeing.
Oh, I apologize. Delete that. That's my ears.
Yeah.
They're clogged.
Like I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying at all. It's just
I thought you said I'm not agreeing. I apologize.
No. So, but
yeah. I'm sorry. I led your show to music again.
It's quite all right.
We're terrible.
I do have something kind of nerdy I want to discuss with you, though.
Oh, awesome.
I think this is kind of interesting.
Have you thought of this today?
No, I actually watched it like Thursday night. It was
nerdy.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Mm.
The Tesla had a big event where they talked about what is the future of Tesla, and they announced they're releasing by 2026 a fully autonomous car.
Right.
And it's called the RoboCab or the RoboTaxi or the CyberCab. I'm not sure which. They were kind of iffy on the name. And this car has no steering wheel, no brake pedals, no nothing. It is completely autonomous. Wow. It's a 2-seater vehicle that's meant for you just to sit in, and it drives for you.
Wow.
They're also releasing a robo van, which will hold 20 people. Again, it doesn't even have a fucking windshield.
Oh.
Like it's just you sit in this thing and it drives.
Like you're seeing those silver cars out there. I understand they can see through, we can't see in.
Right.
But it would be like that on the inside.
Right.
So you couldn't even see where the hell you were going.
No, unless there's a view screen in there. Well, there's nothing you could do anyway. There's nothing you could do because there's no steering wheel.
I would probably never get in something like that. I don't have control.
Right. Like.
No.
And that's the thing. Like I'm looking at now. Maybe a younger person has a different view of this. But to me, like, I think Elon is misinterpreting. But I think Elon is just underestimating our desire to drive.
Yes, I enjoy driving. That is my relaxation period between and coming home from work, coming home.
Now, Elon will tell you that it could be even more relaxing if you weren't actually driving.
No, because I like to get angry every now and then and be like, what, you can't use the turn signal? I like doing stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, hey, idiot, the green light, I don't use it. You know me, I don't use my horn. So I'll just like, it's green, can you go? Like, they can hear me.
Right.
That makes me feel better.
Like, Elon and Tesla are looking at this, and they're even showing, like, build for the future we want, and they're showing, like, these pictures of, like parking lots are turning into, like, green spaces because there's no more need for parking lots because nobody has to own a car.
Right.
That you could just get driven around in these autonomous vehicles.
No.
Because what he opened up with was the average person uses their car 10 hours a week.
I'm trying to figure that out. How long is that? My drive to work is half hour, 45 minutes. That's actually might be correct.
Right. On average.
Yeah.
Like the average. So.
Just to work and back.
Right. Like.
I'm not talking about all the other bullshit running you do.
Right.
Okay.
Like, well, no, he's just talking about on average. Like, the average person uses their car 10 hours a week.
Oh, I use mine way more.
Right. Well, I mean, and there are some people that do, and there's someone like me who uses it much less. That's why he's saying it's on average. As compared to, what some people do compared to others.
Right.
So, Like he's like, what if you only had the car for the 10 hours you needed it?
So what am I supposed to be doing in the meantime?
Excuse me. Little, little, it's
Why?
my goose.
Why? For 1 hour and a half, you can't hold that shit in. I just don't understand.
Sorry. Anyway, what we,
What half as sorry as I'm going to be in a second.
it's just some sour air.
Very sour. Like you don't even eat lemons. It's amazing how sour.
Anyway, what were you saying?
What am I supposed to be doing in those 10 hours that I'm being driven around in this, futuristic car that I can't fucking see out of?
Well, I mean, I think that's the interesting thing is like yes, the average person uses their car 10 hours a week.
Okay.
Okay. But the freedom that a car represents
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, what Elon is not understanding, what Tesla doesn't understand. Because maybe there are people who don't desire to own a car or
Right.
don't desire like they like those people who like get a lift everywhere now. Like this is for them.
This is for people that want to be on their fucking telephone or pad or computer 24/7 a day.
Right.
That cannot pull their face away from that screen for 2 minutes to look at something.
Right.
That's for those people.
Right. But and I see like places like okay, like New York City. Almost nobody owns a car in New York. Because they everywhere they go they use public transportation.
Yes, but yet it's so congested up there. You gotta wonder.
Because of all the taxis. It's all the taxis and buses
Taxi
and limos. Like I mean, like the average person in New York does not own a car because everywhere they go they take public transportation for. I want to go to a baseball game. I'm going to take the subway.
Right.
I want to go downtown. I'll take the subway. I want to go out to eat. It's either a neighborhood, like let's walk to a neighborhood restaurant, or that's
Very.
What I mean. Like it's not something that is conducive in New York. So yes, calling an Uber or a Lyft and having it be a completely autonomous car works for those types of people.
Right. Right.
I get that. Here in Pittsburgh, it doesn't.
No. Well,
I don't think
it might in Oakland and shit like that, but not like on the outskirts like where we live.
No. Like, plus the fact that the freedom of just being able to say, fuck it, I'm going out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to sit there on my phone and, pull up like, okay, can I get picked up at this time? And, okay, I'm going to need to call an Uber to get home.
And how much you're paying. And I get it. You pay for gas in your car and everything, but I'd rather pay for that than that.
Right. Like the freedom of just being able to say, fuck it, I'm going for a drive.
Or like tonight, I came down. I need to go to Get-Go.
Yeah.
And I can get my car and go. I don't have to wait 15 minutes for somebody to take me. And then 15 minutes for somebody to bring me back.
Right.
Until they have teleportation.
Right.
I probably would never give up the car.
but also like I feel like
instant teleportation, right. By the way.
But even like with Tesla, like there is something about cars. Like I mean, a Cybertruck can go from 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
It is. I mean, it's
yeah.
But that's how powerful these electric engines are.
Excuse me, right?
Electric motors.
Yeah.
Like now, when you do that, you immediately go from like having 300 miles of battery life to 250.
Right.
But
right.
You do have that launch capability.
Right. Exactly.
But it's that thing of like even owning a Tesla, the people who own them enjoy the freedom of I want to take a drive to the Outer Banks.
Right.
Maybe it takes longer because you have to like stop so many times and charge your car.
Yeah.
But you still have that freedom to do that.
Yeah, and you can stop anywhere you want along the way. You don't have to get it.
Right.
That gets into a whole bunch of stuff that I just don't want to do with. And that's my alone time, by the way.
Right.
I want to be alone.
but also like he's talking about like the Cybertruck, the Model Y, and the Model S, and the Plaid, and whatever models they have, are also going to have this functionality downloaded into them at some point. Well, part of the joy of having a car is driving the car.
Right.
So I would like, even if I owned a Tesla, I would never want to use the self-driving functionality because of the joy I get from driving.
Correct. Yes.
Like,
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm just not liking the idea. I'm sorry.
even
I
on a
just don't
long
like it.
trip, I like.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. There are places I don't want to drive. If I ever have to drive Crosstown Boulevard again in my life, where to me like that is just like car martial arts.
What's Crosstown Boulevard?
Okay, do you remember when we were going to Lawrenceville? And there's like that, you come off that ramp and there's that very short space before you get on the bridge.
Oh,
Like that short little area of madness.
Yeah.
That's Crosstown Boulevard.
Gotcha.
That where like, you
I
know.
didn't know there was a name for that.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah, it is to me, like that is Satan's belly button. Like, if I never have to drive that again, I will be happy.
I've actually drove that a few times.
Yeah, it's horrible.
For somebody with anxiety, it is horrible.
Yeah. And so it you know, but there are other times where like being in control, driving the car.
Yeah.
Like as weird as it sounds, I like that drive to Greensburg to Mike's house.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Because like
I don't.
I know you don't. But like once you
I hate 30.
Once you get past North Huntington.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Like
yes.
Once you're past North Huntington and
past
you get
the Parkway
and
yes.
you get to the mall.
Yeah.
Like boy.
Yes.
That is just nice open road
You're
driving.
Right. You are absolutely right. Once you pass Greensburg Mall.
Yeah.
Where like that Target, Sam's, Walmart,
yeah.
That Greensburg area. Once you get through that, it's really smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can really open up to like 772.
Yeah.
I think he was wanted at 80 once. I was like, can we slow down, please? Not in my car, his truck. But that I actually like that he moved past it because before you were going off the Unity Township.
Yeah.
You get to go a little past that. And when you come up around that to where the live casino is.
Yeah.
That right there is where I start to hate it again.
Yeah. No, you're right. But there is a stretch, and like once you
maybe
even like what was the old Green Gate Mall area, like that's fine. But you're right. Like, once you get past that, there is like a 5-mile stretch of just like
peace
hammered down.
And you got to be in the zoom lane. Who in there, right? Because of how many exits on and off.
Yeah.
You got to be in that lane because you are just going to constantly be getting, because they don't look. They don't fucking look. They come right out and go on. So you are going.
Right.
You are moving.
But like my point is like there is joy in driving.
Yes.
And there are people who take joy in driving. And while I understand the future is electric when it comes to vehicles, I still think that they're like the self-driving aspect that they are pushing.
Yeah.
I don't see.
No, because even like stuff like this time of year, people like to get in their car and drive up to Lynn Run just to look at the seasons and the change. I'm one of them. You can't do that in something like that.
Right.
That just, it's like another way to control people.
It is. And
what is happening over there with her?
She's in a bag. She's in the bag.
Sabine is having some kind of fun.
But
she's in a bag.
Yeah, there's some sort of bag over there. I don't know.
Okay, if you're not concerned about suffocation.
I'm not, no. She seems to have it under control.
Okay.
But no, I feel like the things that he is looking at And I'm sure that they've done a massive study and they have data that supports it and whatnot. But like the thing I don't think that Tesla is taking into consideration is the human experience.
Correct.
And then on top of it, to prove that they don't understand the human experience, they also released, their fully autonomous humanoid robot.
I heard about that, and that's why I was looking up. I thought I saved a screenshot of something.
Yeah, called Optimus. And he was just like, this will be the greatest thing ever sold. And everyone will want one. And I was like, I don't.
I don't.
Like to me, like that would be like the creep. Like even in the videos, it felt creepy. It felt like, okay, we are now welcoming our robot overlords.
Right.
We are now one step away, from Judgment Day.
Right.
And it really, and I'm sure that's just like some sort of paranoia on my part, but like it still felt that way. It still felt like, man, I feel like we are ushering in a future of doom.
Yeah, that's just
and like every household will have one. Well, no,
no.
Like that's where I'm drawing the line. Like Google Home, great.
The Roomba was as robot-y as I was willing to get.
Yeah, and even then I apologized to it. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, little guy. Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Like like I was trying to make sure it knew.
Yeah. That was as much as a robot I can get.
Right.
I do not need Rosie in my house.
No, and I was like,
I liked her.
And it's things like
I was on that maid's side.
You can have it do chores for you. You can play games with it. It can be your friend.
No.
I'm like, no.
No. Did you see Megan?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, like this is like a massive no.
Did we not learn our lesson from the Furbies? Wasn't it Furbies?
Then on top of it all, like the audacity that they had the robots serving drink, like for this whole event they took out they rented this massive area of like Warner Brothers back lot. Okay. And so they had the cars driving you around. They had different areas that you could go to, and one of them was Westworld, where the robots were serving drinks. And I was just like, have we not learned from our?
Why would they do that?
Because it's like thumbing your nose at science fiction. Like
exactly.
Like no.
Wow.
No.
Westworld. Could you imagine where the robots fuck with you mentally?
Well, like even more important, like we're like we're half a step away from Westworld now, thanks to Elon, and now I can go to a Western theme park and fuck a robot.
Oh, I did. I wonder how many of these he's going to have in his home. How about you fill your house with all that shit, and then we'll see how that does not give us a happy ending. Isn't there another company? I was reading something. I thought I saved it. That's what I was looking for. I swore to God I took a screenshot to ask you about this because I was reading about this, honestly. And some of the comments on it said something about another company, and they were like, shut up, this has nothing to do with this company. This is another company he's running. How many companies is this dude fucking running?
Quite a few.
And apparently he's doing bad on one of them.
Well,
there's one that stands out from them all that he's doing bad on.
Twitter's the one that everybody's like, that's the one he's doing bad with.
It wasn't Twitter. It was some other name. I can't remember. I honestly can't.
SpaceX just had like a massive achievement today. That's a company owned by Elon Musk, where they actually had they launched what was the largest rocket ever created. Like for years, the Saturn V rocket has been like the standard that we actually still use, which was developed in the 60s. Oh. That's the rocket we've used to send things into space.
Okay.
And this was bigger than the Saturn V rocket. And it launched, sent something into orbit. It came back down to the launch pad where it was captured by like what they called Mechagodzilla chopsticks.
Wow, what a name.
Yeah. And it was literally like this thing came down and it was firing retro thrusters. It was just like this massive like rocket.
Wow.
It's coming back down and it's firing retro thrusters to control. And then the grips just kind of came in on it and held it in place, and the rocket stopped firing and it was captured.
Wow.
So it's like really impressive.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, Elon's the one who's pushing for us to go to Mars.
I'm aware.
Yeah. So
they don't learn. I mean, just watch life.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Let it go, people.
Let it go.
Let it the fight. There's just some things we don't need to know.
Right.
We don't need to know if there's life on Mars. Because that's when we all die. Can we do this after I'm gone from this earth, please? That shit scares me. I think about that stuff. You have no idea if we actually are up there, what's out there. If you stand and look up there, there's something up there. There has to be.
Oh,
I don't want to know what it is. I don't need to know.
It was like a great quote from Contact. If we're the only intelligent life in the universe, that's a massive waste of space.
Yeah. So you got to say, there's something up there.
There is, I'm sure.
We are not up there.
No.
And we don't need to be up there. That's why we're here. We were put here for a reason, to stay here. Just keep, and you know what? If you want to go investigate, go ahead. Don't come back. Don't come back. Don't bring that shit back here.
But it's in our nature to explore.
No, it's in our nature to be nosy. That's exactly what it is. You're putting your nose where what I don't need to know what's going on in my neighbor's house.
Okay.
We do not need to know what's going on in our neighbor's house.
But without that nature of exploration, you would still be living somewhere in Ireland.
I know. Or Germany.
Or Germany.
Yeah. I know. I get it. But there's just, that's a little bit different than exploring the place you were put. We weren't put up there. We were put here.
But it's the next step.
To what? The end of mankind. I'm sorry. I just, shit scares me.
I get.
It's the same with going in the ocean. We don't have gills and we can't breathe underwater for a reason. Leave that shit down there and we stay up here.
I think exploration is natural. I think exploration is necessary.
And to an extent, I agree.
I mean, I do feel like at this point, exploration has to be commercial, not government funded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's enough problems in the world that the U.S. government should not be funding a trip to Mars. Like, as much as I believe in exploration, it's that thing of like,
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If there wasn't the space issue, how much further do you need to go? When is going to be the end? Where's the end to where you're going? Because if you get to Mars and you do what you need to do with that, where are you going to go from there? Because you're saying it's necessary for mankind to move on. Where are you moving to?
Well, I mean, we have satellites. We have exploratory vehicles that have already left our solar system.
That's not what I meant, but anyways.
No, it is. Like,
it is not what I meant.
No, you're asking, like, what's next? Like, so we go to Mars, we colonize Mars. Guess what's next? We go to Saturn and Jupiter.
Why? Why do you need to go there?
Because we need to see what's beyond the next hill.
But that's the problem, is it takes so long to get to those. The people that started it have no idea what happened. Well, so, no. Yeah, great that somebody gets to know what happens once we get past Mars, and here I've been living through it, and I don't get to know.
Okay, but here's the problem, though, Nance. So, if NASA doesn't lose its way, okay, after we stopped going to the moon, and we decided our next step would be Skylab, and then from there the shuttle program. Like, if NASA doesn't lose its way as exploratory, like, going to the moon and pushing further, Maybe we're already there. Like, NASA got defunded. They cut the moon program. We haven't been back to the moon since what, 1973. Like, it's that odd thing of like,
If we were even there at all.
we were.
Okay.
I won't tolerate that kind of slander on this podcast.
Okay, well, it's your podcast. I'll follow the rules.
But it's that thing of like, if we had kept that mindset of being explorers at NASA, maybe we're already at Mars.
Yeah.
But we lost our way and we settled for something less than.
Right.
You know. And that's the problem. And now everything is so fucked up that I can't look to the government to push that exploratory mission any longer.
Yeah.
I don't want the government investing in space.
Mm-hmm.
But if Elon wants to do it, by all means.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's where I'm at. Somebody has to do it. If Elon has the money and the willpower to push it.
I think it's a mistake.
I know you do. You've mentioned it, but
I'm sorry. I think we need to keep our eyes on our own page. For cheating.
I think the moon needs further exploration. Like,
why? What more about the moon do you need to know?
What haven't we uncovered? Like, because here's the thing, okay? There's a great show I would highly recommend you watch called For All Mankind on Apple TV. And part of it is a fictitious reimagining of what if the Russians landed on the moon first? What if Russia beat us to the moon?
Okay.
How would that affect the space race? But one of the things was, so once we landed on the moon, the next step was establishing a moon base. And the only way you can establish a moon base is if you actually found water on the moon. Because in order for a base to work, it has to be fueled by hydrogen and you have to have drinkable water. So, is there ice on the moon? Can that be found? If it can, we can establish a base, and that's the next step towards getting to Mars, which also is going to require us finding ice and water that is usable to live and sustain life.
So if there was none up there, then...
But there is. Like, we can see the ice. What the rovers have found ice, I believe.
But how do you know, like, putting all this on the moon is going to affect what the purpose for the moon is? Like, we're all forgetting why the moon even exists.
I'm not saying you put millions of people on the moon, Nance. I'm saying you have a base on the moon that functions as a waypoint to the next step.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying how that could affect the moon somehow. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm just throwing shit out there.
Right.
I just think it's wrong. I think we need to just
keep our head in the sand.
That's not head in the sand. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying keep your eyes on your own page. Stop wanting to know what your neighbor has. You don't need to know. That's why you're not there. You're here.
But what if, and this is part of that show, what if you're able to make a massive discovery for a new form of energy that no longer...
The moon?
Some sort of hydrogen that creates a better form of energy.
So they destroy the moon getting that.
Okay. Or you don't destroy the moon, but you find a way to safely mine it.
But if you're taking some sort of resource from that, it could change the course of the moon. Like, I don't...
You're imagining, like, because we mine hydrogen on the moon, that all of a sudden it goes flinging out of orbit for some reason. And I don't see that happening.
No, but I am terrified because the moon controls the tides and water is a fucking bitch. Okay? Those oceans are not nice.
Right.
I'm just saying. Where land, it may become water if we go fucking with what controls that. Staying off the. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I can't be wrong in what I'm saying. I can't be. I can't be the only one that thought that. If the moon does indeed control the tides.
And if a runaway planet, well, it doesn't control the tides, but its gravitational pull affects a field. I watched Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about this. There's a field that moves the water, and that's what's controlled by the moon.
Yeah.
So the water itself isn't moved by the moon.
I know.
But anyway, so like it could be at the beginning of Thunder the Barbarian, where a runaway planet hurtles between the Earth and the moon splits in half, and now all of a sudden shit goes haywire.
It will.
And then 1,000 years later, you have Thundar.
Thundar.
With his,
you're all like Thundar.
With his faithful friend Ukla the monk and Princess Ariel.
Are you making these names up, Ukla?
No, this is a real thing.
I don't remember Ukla the monk.
Ukla the mock. He was a mock, not a monk. A mock.
What's a mock? No, you probably said mock. I probably said mock. What's a mock? Like a mockingbird?
No. Like a Wookiee.
A Wookiee? Now that I know.
Oh my goodness.
I love my Wookiees.
Thundar the Barbarian.
I think you're making the names up.
Here.
Oh, him. Oh. Because I always said, why does he need two R's?
Year 1994. From out of space comes a runaway planet, hurtling between the Earth and the Moon, unleashing cosmic destruction.
See? See?
Man's civilization is tested.
I just said that. Yeah, not to mention the volcanoes. Yeah, see, there's that too. So you're either going to drown to death or you're going to burn to death, okay?
A strange new world rises from the old. A world of savagery,
super
science, and sorcery.
Super science and sorcery?
But one man bursts his bonds to fight for justice. With his companions, Ufla the Mock and Princess Ariel, he pits his strength, his courage, and his fabulous sun sword against the forces of evil.
Sun sword? He's throwing a fit. Yeah. I didn't watch it though.
Yeah, okay. That's what you're.
Ukla the monk. I didn't know what that was.
That's the future you think we have if we mine the moon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Leave the moon alone.
I think we'll just end right there.
I'm campaigning to save the moon. I'm going to go picket somewhere. Save the moon.
Let's stay home. Let's stay home.
No more space exploration.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just think you need to wheel it in a little.
Wheel it in a little.
Yeah.
If we wheeled it in a little anymore, we will go back to
just leave the moon alone. Okay?
Okay.
Fuck with the moon. That's the end of this mankind. I'm telling you, man.
Well, obviously,
What was the dude's name in what was the John Cusack movie we saw in the theater where they built those big boats in the
that was what 2020.
2020. Okay, so think of who Woody Harrelson played in that movie.
Okay.
That's going to be me.
Okay.
If they continue to fuck with the moon.
2012. That was the movie. 2012.
2012. Yeah. I'm going to be. Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
You're gonna be Woody Harrelson.
I'm going to be like, stop messing with the moon, people. I'm gonna be doing it, and then the tides are gonna take me out. I know it.
Yeah.
What are those called?
Tsunami.
Tsunami. Yeah.
If a tsunami gets this far inland, we're all fucked anyway.
That's what I'm telling you. You fuck with the moon, it can come in this far inland. There's a lot of ocean out there, a lot of ocean. A lot. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I asked my dad one time, like, was like flooding. There was like a flooding thing. Like, what if the water gets this high, Dad? And he's like, okay, if the water gets this high, we need to build an ark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's scary, man. Stop fucking with Mother Nature. I'm telling you, Mother Nature.
We haven't fucked with anything.
Okay.
Anyway, is there anything you'd like to add to the proceedings?
Yes, try the Sidewinder fries that Gitgo now has.
Yeah, there you go.
They're delicious. We were eating them as we were doing the podcast.
Yes,
They're very yummy.
they're very good. Yes.
And thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Ian is he was working this weekend.
You a working man.
Well, normally his schedule works out that he doesn't, but like it was like a weird thing because he stayed in Erie. It was like he worked I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He was off Sunday, and he's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird thing of like I think he stayed up in Erie.
Might as well.
Because,
Yeah.
So that's why he wasn't here today. But did Dad mention anything worth talking about?
You know what? He sent me something. I didn't look at it yet.
Yeah.
I noticed it popped in there, but I didn't look at it.
I know he went. He was very happy. No, we're not going to talk about that.
See, I do enjoy reading them, but sometimes I don't want to read it before the show. What was that? Oh, that's
Brittany sneezing.
Bless you.
He was going to Kennywood for the their Halloween stuff. Because he's a member of like this like roller coaster enthusiast, American coaster enthusiasts. He was getting special perks. They were getting a daytime tour. He was getting first in line stuff and cutting line privileges, and yeah.
I bet you any money he's probably ran into one of the bartenders that works where I work.
Yeah.
Her brother works at Kennywood during Halloween stuff, and every day he does a new costume. He dresses. He should be a makeup artist. You should see him every day. She shows me all his pictures, and I bet you Thad's ran into him.
He sent me a picture of his fries and gravy. I said,
oh!
I said, all that's missing is some cheese curds.
That's mean either way.
Yeah.
Would you? Please.
I've been holding that.
You couldn't hold it for 5 more minutes.
No.
You're like so honest. Nope.
That was coming out.
Sorry. No.
Anyway. Yeah. Remember, there are a number of ways you can reach out and touch us. You can send us an email. That email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd. It's very, very easy to find. And we are on a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangentbound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search and you can find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And lastly, as always, I want to thank you, dear listener, for taking the time to check us out each and every week. We can't thank you enough for your support. And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Bye.